Ahead of yesterday's hearing involving FBI Director James Comey on investigating ties between President Trump's campaign and Russia, Trump tweeted that the real story that Congress, the FBI, and all others should be looking into is the leaking of classified information. Must find leaker now. The hearing did address leaks and whistleblowing, and notorious NSA whistleblower Edward Snowden took to Twitter to react when Congressman Trey Gowdy asked whether journalists can be prosecuted for reporting on classified information. Snowden noted that Comey didn't say no. When Comey said leaks could be deterred by locking people up for leaking, Snowden points out that even Chelsea Manning's lengthy prison sentence didn't deter whistleblowing. Snowden's solution to stopping the next whistleblower? Stop breaking the law. Joining me now, former FBI agent and whistleblower herself, Coleen Rowley. And Coleen, just wanted to start getting your thoughts on the hearing yesterday, what you heard regarding leaks and whistleblowers.
Well, I didn't think the hearing really established much. You know, they always say that our democracy is being hurt and our process is being sabotaged. But in fact, I think some of this leaking and even the hearing itself did more damage to our democracy than anything else, because it's assertions and allegations, but we never hear any evidence. Comey, FBI Director Comey, was very clear in saying that an investigation has started. Well, obviously, it doesn't take much to start an investigation, but he, of course, gave no evidence that's been obtained so far. And so, you know, this could be just a standard, you know, look into things. And there have been CIA officials and former CIA officials who have said there's a lot of smoke, but no fire. So we'll just have to wait and see what this really is. But in the meantime, it's kind of really a confusing, obfuscating thing for the public. And I don't think the senators asked very good questions as well.
Well, and it is difficult because it is standard policy in government not to comment on an ongoing investigation. So, of course, a lot of those answers that Comey gave yesterday did not satisfy the people seeking those answers. But I want to move to this idea of leaking information as well, and the comments that were made on the floor there. I mean, it is illegal to leak classified information, but we're seeing it a lot, especially in this administration. What do you find to be the motivation behind those leaks?
You know, I don't think the motivation is real clear. However, I don't see this as, from what I know and from what I read in the papers, the information could be coming from more than one source, and I don't think these sources necessarily qualify as whistleblowers. And here's my reasons for that. I've said this before, but whistleblowing does require that the person be motivated for the public good. And in this case, a lot of it seems a lot more akin to political motivations. You know, what we call leakers. Leakers can actually are not necessarily whistleblowers, and they can be motivated for their own personal reasons, for political reasons. The worst aspect, of course, is planting false information. And actually, FBI Director Comey mentioned that a lot of the information that is out in the public is actually false information. So, you know, I don't think that if we had a whistleblower like Edward Snowden and others, there have been many others like that, they actually, they don't necessarily stay anonymous, and they are very motivated. It's very clear, even if they are anonymous, what their motivation is, which is to disclose fraud, waste, abuse, a danger to public safety, or an illegal act. I should mention one more thing. These hearings have not established really any outright potential illegal act, except for the fact of the improper leaking itself, especially if it was a wiretapped conversation that was leaked. And we know that at least one transcript of a wiretap in conversation was leaked. And, you know, I think some of the senators did a good job of bringing that out. But so far, that's all we really know of what a potential illegal act has been.
And I assume you're talking about the conversation that Michael Flynn had with the Russian ambassador there. When we continue to see these leaks that are coming out of government, especially since Trump took office, do you consider the amount that we're seeing unprecedented?
Well, yes, this whole situation. I mean, I think you have to go back to Watergate with Deep Throat as a whistleblower to even come close to the current situation. It's a complete, really, it's a mess and a half. And, you know, even the finest minds in the world are having trouble in determining actually what went on. I should mention one other thing, which is that, you know, Trump has been obviously very smeared by saying, well, he said wiretap, he said the literal term wiretap. But in fact, if you check the New York Times on January 19th, the day before the inauguration, they wrote that they were reviewing, that the FBI was reviewing wiretapped conversations. Okay, so they actually used the term wiretapped conversations. So again, you know, we're getting a lot of smoke and mirrors, but hardly any actual evidence of what has happened. And I think the public is totally confused. I should say the worst worrying part about this whole thing is it did provide an opportunity for the Democrats. Of course, the Democrats are very politically motivated to go after Trump. And it did provide this opportunity for them to show that they are the real war party.
Well, Coleen, we'll have to
that honor or glory, if you want to call it, from the Republicans from the Bush administration at this point, and one after another Democrat senator used the chance. They got their chance then to basically say this is an act of war, again, with no evidence being adduced.
All right, we're going to have to leave it there. We're going to have to leave it there, Coleen. We're out of time, but thank you so much for coming on. Former FBI agent and whistleblower Coleen Rowley, really appreciate your time today.